It is my honor to now introduce our next speaker. His name is Steve. Steve, come on up.
Yeah.
Ow.
Shot.
Golly. Behave. Whoa, what we got here? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it.
We gotta look at it.
I don't know, I didn't look
You're
at
live all over the world.
Hi, everybody. This is different.
Yeah.
I ain't never done this one before. I know there's a couple people out there that are watching.
Yeah.
If it's working. Apparently it wasn't working too well when Bo was speaking. Imagine that.
No.
Don't tell him that.
No.
Oh, no.
I heard he was on a rampage.
Well.
I'm Nathan and Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, everybody. No, I think they named this thing the wrong.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
I'll get to there.
Okay.
They named this thing the wrong thing. It should have been senior citizens in recovery. You know, I haven't seen too many people under 65 yet. You know?
Oh,
Especially with 30 years clean. Well,
okay.
yeah. Do the math. I mean, when we get here, we're young and invincible, and it's like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? And then any girl here about after 30 years, damn, I wish I hadn't done all that. It hurt. Yeah. Today's my anniversary. 34 years clean.
34.
You know, one of the things that was going through my mind was clean time don't equal recovery. Yeah, well, maybe there are those who think that. But try getting some recovery without clean time. It won't work. I've tried. It ain't there. So, you know, keep coming back if you run out. I'm gathering my thoughts here. About 10 minutes ago, I was in downtown Atlanta at 5:45 in the afternoon on 85 and 75 going south, along with everybody else on a Friday afternoon wanting to get the hell out of town. I don't blame them. I would say I lived here a couple, oh God, it's years ago. If that, probably longer than that. I remember making that drive. It wasn't no fun. I remember now why I left. It was bloody awful. But Archie called and says, "You're not going to make it." And I said, "Well, I'll make it if I'm supposed to." GPS says, "Well, your arrival time is 6:06, and Lord and behold, 6 o'clock I walked through the front door. So here I am. You know, and that was purely by God's grace, because I'll tell you what, they was out to get me. They was out to get me. I didn't bend anybody's fingers, and nobody bent mine, and I'm real grateful for that. How I come to be here today is a story in and of itself. And it's kind of a story of addiction. I was sitting in a funeral home making arrangements for my stepdaughter, and we were picking out urns for her to be cremated in. And Archie called, programming guy, I guess. He said, "How would you like to speak in Atlanta at the speaker jam we have? Can I get back to you?" Because I had no idea what was about to happen. And we continued on making the arrangements and this and that and the other thing. Like, how the hell did he even get my name and number? You know? And it dawned on me, a couple of people had come by the day she passed away did what we do, you know, held me, comforted me. Breathed with me. And we went to a meeting. And he's one of the speakers here this weekend. I don't know exactly when. But said, you need to share. Said, you need to share. And my first thought, of course, first thought wrong, right? Because, oh no, I don't need, I'm good. Everything's cool. You know. But you know, it wasn't cool. It was sad. It was heartbreaking. You know, you're not supposed to lose a kid. This kid never did drugs, never broke a law. Well, maybe speeding. But went to work every day, got a college degree. Then got cervical cancer. And a month later died. You know, it was all part of the plan. I know that. That young woman taught me the importance of giving. You know, she got sick over Christmas, and her only wish was to make it through Christmas Day. She willed herself to stay alive that long. And she wanted everybody to get everything they wanted for Christmas. And like I said, one of the things that she taught me was, it's not in the what you give, it's the fact that you do give. Doesn't matter what you give. You can give a smile. You can give a hug. You can give a pen or a pencil or a piece of paper. It don't matter. It's in the act. It's not in the what. You know? And in that act, two people smile. Yourself and the person you're giving to. It's about gratitude. It's about being grateful. It's about receiving love. It's about giving love. And that's what we do here. No money. You know, doesn't matter how much you fill in the seventh tradition. It doesn't matter if you put in the seventh tradition. What matters is that we give something. This thing was based on that. Giving. There was an old saying my wife reminds me of from time to time. You know, we do service for one reason, for fun and for free. I don't hear that very often anymore. Usually it's, you know, maybe I can get a free trip out of this to Bangkok, Thailand or some shit. I don't know. But you know, back when I got clean, speakers came to town on their own dime. Speakers stayed at instead of in fancy hotels, they stayed at addicts' houses. You know, and that did a number of things to help this fellowship grow. You know, because people got to know one another on an intimate basis. There's nothing like getting to know somebody at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning as they're crawling their happy ass out of bed and say, "Here's a cup of coffee." Because you know what? You don't mess with me until I've had at least one. At least one. And usually I am locked up in my room where I'm totally isolated until I've had that cup of coffee. Because I am not fit for man or beast. And my wife's rocking her head back and forth. Yeah. That's true. Maybe I ought to look at that sometime. But you know what? I don't wake up. I wake up the same way I walked into these rooms every day. Not brimming with honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Far from it. It's more like, I don't want to. And what I have to do is something that my sponsor used to tell me. He says, you got to surrender. You know, he would say, at night, he asked me, do you resist going to sleep? I said, yeah. I flip and flop like a fish. Get up and down. What happens next? I usually just fall asleep. So no, you surrender. Then you fall asleep. Okay. So how do you wake up? I hit the snooze button about 3 or 4 times. You know? Then what happens? Well, I usually just get up. And no, you surrender. Then you get up. You would surrender. So what happens when you hold your bladder as long as you can and you can't stand it no longer? Then you finally get to the bathroom. And say, well, I usually let go. I said, that's right. That's right. Let go. And here again, you know, my beautiful wife, one of her favorite things is let go or be drugged.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's just, you know, drugged down the gravel road and never works. Until I let go, I finally surrender and let them go wherever they're going to go. Because you know what? And I've got a couple of sponsees that I had to do that with. You know, I had to let go of them. And they came back. But it wasn't until I let go of them, let them go down the journey they had to go down. Thank God they survived. You know, my topic is supposed to be what? More things change, the more they stay the same. Boy, ain't that the ever-loving truth. You know, I told this story to some folks yesterday, as a matter of fact. Anybody ever lost a pill in a shag carpet? Go diving in there looking for the dope, trying to look for a needle in a haystack. Okay. What does the carpet usually look like after you're done looking? Ain't much left of it, is there? Tore it completely apart, looking for that little thing. Lose your debit card. Can't find it. Or, you know you had it that morning, and it's lunchtime, so there's only like 4 hours in between, right? And you pretty well know where you've been. It's got to be somewhere in between there. So what happens? Well, the first thing that gets hit is the trash cans, right? You got a trash can. Stuff out of the trash can all over the floor. Dig into it. Can't find it. So you put that trash back in the trash can. Now, do that at work and see what kind of looks you get. People are looking at you like you've done lost your damn mind. But they know how important that thing is to you. And what they don't know is how obsessed I've become. See, I'm on a mission now. Where'd that damn thing go? Well, the only other place it could be is my truck. My truck's not exactly the cleanest. Well, it is now. Well, cleanest thing in the world. Usually it's the passenger side is a trash can. So I go digging in there. And I emptied out the cab and threw it in the back. It's, you know, it's a bigger trash can. Spread it out. And I look at it. Right there. Where else could it be? Well, I remember stopping at Hardee's to get up biscuits and gravy. Well, I had my heart set on biscuits and gravy that morning. I pulled in there. May I have some biscuits and gravy, please? Yes. That'd be $2.75, whatever it was. And my card said, thank you. They handed me my biscuits and gravy. Could I have some salt and pepper, please? And they said, sure. They handed me one of those little bitty packs of salt and one of those little bitty packs of pepper. And I went slick off, because one's never enough, right? Come on, even salt, one's never enough. And I just hit the ceiling, and I said, is that all you're gonna give me, you cheap so-and-so, and lost my gourd. Mashed the accelerator and went headed straight for the highway. Lo and behold, I forgot my debit card. I drove off and left it. So at lunchtime, I drive back into Hardee's. And that same teller is sitting there. And I'm having to eat some crow. This just happened last week, by the way. So this is the disease of addiction. Difference between humility and humiliation is not a far trip. And I'm going, did I leave my debit card here? And the little teller girl says, yes, you did. With a smile. Said, may I have it, please? Said, no, you may not. I said, I deserve that. They asked why. He said, well, it's in the safe and the manager's not here. She's the only one that can give it to you. I deserve that. Thank you. Oh, well, here's the manager now. Thank you. Said, the manager said, here's your card. Said, oh, by the way, you weren't the only one to do that. And about 3 other people had left their cards behind as well. But that really didn't make me feel that much better because it was me acting like an ass. You know, because I was so obsessed with that instant gratification of what I wanted. And when I didn't get it, I acted like an ass. That's what 33 years clean. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. I am still subject to acting like an ass as well as any newcomer that walks through this door. You know? And the only difference is I see it today. You know, I see it. And when I do, I try to change it. And I own it. Didn't make excuses. Didn't try to rationalize it. Didn't try to justify it. Just said, yeah, I did that. No question about it. You know, what's changed? Everything has changed. Many of you are aware that we're in the middle of an epidemic. So the media says. When I got clean, you know, there was an epidemic as well. The AIDS epidemic. Addicts were falling left and right. Cocaine was king. what are we going to do about all these cocaine babies? What are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about that? You know? Get clean. Find a new way to live. Quit acting like a damn fool. The drugs didn't get me here. The same thing that gets us all here got me here. Desperation. That desperation that we all feel when we get here. You know, not knowing whether to flip, flop, or fight. One go. God, somebody just tell me what to do. I can't take this no more. Unfortunately, somebody told me, sit down, shut up, and listen. Because I was too busy running my mouth that I couldn't hear what people were saying. And they threw this book in front of me. Well, no, that's not exactly the way it went. The way it went was they handed me this white book. First of all, we didn't have any books. All we had was that white book. A couple of guys a few months later went to Chicago and came back and said, we got a book. And we're not addicts and alcoholics. We're not cross-addicted, dope fiends, marijuana junkies, and this and that and the other thing. We're addicts. And our disease is addiction. And boy, that pissed some people off. Some of them left, some of them left and came back, some of them didn't leave at all. They changed. But what happened was we found common ground. We had something to work with. We had a guidebook, a textbook for life. And it worked. And we really didn't, we kind of sponsored each other at the time because nobody knew what in the hell they were doing. We were all stupid as hell. As a matter of fact, some of the guys that were married to other addicts started noticing something. Their girls were getting better, and we weren't. And we didn't know why. So what are they doing? So we sent a spy in, you know. One of the guys that was married, what are y'all doing different than we are? Well, we've got these here sheets, step sheets, and we're writing and working them, and we're getting better. Because, see, these junkie nurses were starting to talk in meetings and say, you know, no is a complete sentence. I'm going, what? What are you talking about? And it's like, where are you getting this stuff? My sponsor. Oh, God. And they started working these sheets. And this guy came back and made some copies of them and said, this is what they're doing. And, okay, that's doable enough. Kind of complicated, but what's new? So we got to, I think it was the, what was it? Somewhere between 11 and 13, questions 11 and 13, where it says, write out all definitions of addiction, either stated or implied. And I go, what the hell a minute? What? That sounds like way too much work. Yeah. I say, yeah. And you know what? I found out what addiction really was, what it was about, and what we could do about it. Because the one thing that exercise did was it made us intimate with that book. Not just knowledgeable, but intimate. What, you know, we had to look shit up. The next best thing was the dictionary. That became the best thing. 'Cause, you know, I don't know about y'all, but this addict likes to talk shit. Knows enough to get in trouble, and when I get in trouble, I make shit up just to sound good. Instead of saying, I don't know. Because I said, I don't know all my life. And I make shit up and sound like a damn fool. That's how I am. So we started working these steps, and lo and behold, things started happening. Started getting better. Less of us stopped relapsing. Those of us that were working the steps started staying clean, getting better, doing service work. Actually got to know who we were and what we stood for. Stop living in conflict and contradiction of our values. Now it's a miracle. We had values. We had something to believe in. It's pretty amazing, this journey. What we do here is real simple. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of books, and we got this, and we got that. But the simple, pure fact of the matter is, what we do is we take turns saving each other's lives. That's all we do. Because that's what's at stake. If you really want to live this way of life, you work the ninth step the same way you work the first step. All out. My sponsor used to say, this is a threefold disease. And it is. It's physical, mental, and spiritual. So I have to recover threefold. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. Some days better than others, some days not at all, some days pretty good. Some days I hit all three. The physical aspect of our disease, the compulsion. The mental aspect is the obsession. The hardest part for me is the spiritual aspect. That's that total self-centeredness. I still have it. It waxes and wanes. Some days I'm less self-centered than others. I've had more good days than bad. But as I just explained, with the one bag of salt and the one bag of pepper, and losing my debit card over it, I still get real self-centered. I do. And it's not about the dope as much as it is about this disease. At least for me at this point. That's what happens. The only saving grace is when I realize it and I rely on these spiritual principles, the first one being honesty. I can own it. I can make it right. And I can move on. Is my time about up, I guess? 7:30? Oh, well, shit. Let's go for some more stories. I can do that. Okay. Rewind. We'll go back to the beginning. And I heard a young lady mention back in the day, yeah, if you want to recover, go to AA. If you want to get laid, go to NA. Right? That's what they told me. But there ain't no sobriety in NA.
Sure ain't.
But you know what? Those of us didn't buy into that lie.
That's right.
They told me I had to lie about my disease, and I had to omit certain things about my behavior. You know, we just don't talk about that here. And it talks about in that other book, you know, the big one. It says there are those that are incapable of being honest. You know. Well, when you look at that and you look at the setup, there ain't no damn way in the world we can be honest with ourselves if we really and truly work that program the way they told us to work it. So we were shot in the head right from the get-go. There are some there that can recover there, that's fine. I couldn't do that. Somebody accused me early on and says, you know, you got an honest streak about you. And I'm like, okay. I didn't really think of myself that way, but somebody else must have. So. But those were some of the things that I just couldn't tolerate. You know, was being that, trying to be deceitful about myself. So I just went all in on this program. And that still affects me today. That's why I drove 6 hours to get here today. I'd rather go drive 6 hours to get to anything than I would go to anywhere else. That's just the way it is. Because I'm home. I'm here. You know, I'm comfortable here. You know, I'm with people that I know. When I started going, I got clean in Evansville, Indiana. And it's right in the middle of nowhere. You're 3 hours from Indianapolis, you're 3 hours from St. Louis, you're an hour and a half away from Louisville, and you're about 3 hours away from Nashville. Now, one thing that was fortunate for us was we had a couple of people in our core group. One had a 1963 Comet. The other one had a driver's license. And we called it the Convention Comet. We all piled in there. We had to drive 4.5, 5 hours just to get to a regional meeting. Okay? We pile up in there and we roll. And the damnedest thing, whenever we went someplace, we'd see the same faces. No matter where we went. We'd see some of the same faces. And this magical thing happened. We picked up right where we left off. No matter what we were talking about, like, hey, how's that 4-step going? How's that 6-step going? Where you at with making them amends? Yeah. Did they fall out from that? You want to talk about it? See, those were the things that kept us going. They knew us. We knew them. And we identified. Say, hey, we got this new thing coming up. You know, it's called Just for Today. Need some input on it. What do you think? Sure. Let's have a workshop. You have a little workshop. I remember going to one in Louisville, Kentucky. It was a workshop on it works how and when. That's what we called it. It was the longest process I think we took on any piece of literature we've ever produced so far. It was what, about 10 years in the making, 30 seconds in the approval, something like that. But I remember going to this workshop and meeting this guy. And thought, wow. And it happened to be Greg P. We were writing this stuff. He was talking about writing beyond our ability. And that's what was going on. We were writing way beyond our ability to write. Because God was in the play. We were working through God's will, not ours. And that stuck with me. When we left, we went back home. Didn't think a whole lot more about it. Went to another camp out over towards St. Louis, and lo and behold, there he was again. He said, "You still writing?" Yeah. We sat, and I don't remember what all we talked about, but I know we talked till it was dark, and then some. And this, I was looking for a sponsor at the time, and this girl I knew that was helped putting on that camp out says, "Why don't you ask him to be your sponsor?" I said, "Are you kidding? Me? No way." No. I ain't good enough for that, you know. And that's where my self-esteem was. You know. But I got his phone number, and you know, I hung on for a few more months and went to another function. This time it was south, down Bowling Green. Lo and behold, there's that big old bear of a man sitting in a corner by himself. I walk up to him. We'll pick up right where we left off. And I said, well, you know, still didn't have the guts to ask him to be my sponsor. I went home, kicking myself in the head. Why didn't you do that? So finally, what I did, came upon a crisis. I didn't know exactly what it was, but it had to do with sharing something with somebody. I asked my old sponsor, "What do I need to do here?" You know, and I told him what was going on. He said, "Well, it sounds to me like you might want to join a Dale Carnegie course or something, you know, learn how to speak publicly." Okay. So I called Greg up and said, "What do you think I ought to do here?" He says, "Word steps." Right about it.
Right?
I said, "Okay. What do the steps tell you to do?" Actually, that's exactly what he said. What do the steps tell you? That's great. Well, I don't know. He said, "Well, we spent a lot." He said, "Dale Carnegie course is not going to help you because you already know how to manipulate and persuade others." Well, yeah, you're right. Okay. So I suggest you find out what steps tell you. Follow that. And I did. And then I asked him, "Well, I need a sponsor." I said, "Okay." Damn. That was easier than me asking my first sponsor. And I was fresh out of treatment. You know that first time you ask somebody to be your sponsor, you're terrified. You know they're going to say no. You know they're going to say no. You know, you're just way too sick for me. Thank you very much. Go on down the road and ask that one over there that's dealing dope, because that's one you need. And I'm going, "Oh." And he says, "Sure." I said, "Sure." He gave me a few suggestions and took them. He was living too far. So we had more of a telephone sponsorship thing going on. And I shared my stuff, and we got together usually at conventions. And I remember this is pure gray. I have my 4-step all lined out, nice and neat. You know how we do our 4 steps that we're going to share with somebody else because it's a bunch of bullshit anyway. Here, read this. This is good stuff. We're sitting in the lobby in Holiday Inn in Bowling Green during Christmas, and he has surrounded by people, and I'm scared shitless because it is my 4-step, and I'm going, aren't you going to read this? And he said, put it away. What's that on top? And I tell him, okay. When are we going to do this? When are we going to do this? All the while I'm sharing everything that was ever written and then some. And we walk around the lobby and walked up, you know how you are when you attend a convention, you're constantly moving from one place to the next, going here, going there. And I'm following around like a little puppy dog. And you look over his shoulder about every 5 minutes or so and say, why are you trying to force reality? What do you mean? And you walk off. And I try to persuade him to sit down and listen to my 4-step. Look over again and says, why are you still trying to force reality? About the 3rd time I got it. I'm thick that way. See, I was trying to push my will on his. I was trying to manipulate reality to suit myself. I was trying to satisfy my own selfish, self-centered wants and needs. I wanted attention. I wanted his acceptance. And I already had it. That was the reality. I already had it. And didn't know it. We talked about 2nd step stuff. About, coming to believe in a power greater than myself, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Because my concept, I had it all backwards. I wanted to look for that higher power because I'm into power, don't you know? That's my thing. I want power. I wanted to tap into that higher power so I can manipulate it, right? Still not getting the 1st step right, but that's how I am. So, it's not about the higher power. It's about bringing restored to sanity. It's about being in touch with reality. Talk for a minute. Yeah. So the higher power is in the reality. Being real. Accepting the reality. My perception is what screwed up. But when I share my perception with you, you share your perception with me, we get a better perception of reality. Because we can see more once we share what we see. So you can see what's behind my head. I can see what's behind yours. When we share that, then we can see all around us. Then it's in perspective. See, my whole thing was about having my disease distort my perception of reality. Here's some. I was taught early on, addiction and denial is kind of like schizophrenia in reverse. You know, people hallucinate, see things that aren't there, feel things that aren't there, hear things that aren't there. Addicts refuse to see things that are there, refuse to hear things that they hear, and refuse to feel things that are there. So we are by logic, schizophrenics in reverse, especially with our denial. And it is a powerful. So I still have denial to this day. I deny reality. I don't want to see it. I don't want to feel it. And part and parcel of that is losing my stepdaughter, losing my mother, you know, losing those things dear to me. The reason I know this is because I've got a garage full of my mother's shit. I went out and spent $2,000 on a shed to put my daughter's shit in. There's something about not letting go there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, denial's still there. I do not want to let go of that stuff. You know, I looked in that shed this morning before I left, looking for a coffee mug to go mug, because I don't put things up. I leave them where they lay. I'm a slob. Yeah, that. Yeah, you did. You're wrong, not wrong either. Ask my wife. She had to pick up after me today. And I looked at these shoes. There's a box full of shoes that were hers. And I'm going, why are these still here? They could be doing somebody some good. But we got them in this box, in this shed, sitting there for no reason. But it has her scent. It has her aura. I do not want to let it go. Not yet. And time will come soon. But not yet. And those are the things that I still know I have work to do. You know, I have a lot of work to do. You know, like I said in my talk this before, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You know, the process is always going to be the same. It's always going to be the same. Awareness, surrender, and growth. That don't change. The situations change constantly. Still have it somewhere. I'm a hoarder. I don't know. Didn't want to admit that, but I am. Got this little piece of paper Greg wrote out for me. What it said was, I am powerless over ... And it makes my life unmanageable. Fill in the dots, whatever it is. Step 2, came to believe that ... Fill in the blank. Could restore me to sanity. Step 3, turn my will and my life over to ... Fill in the blank. step 4. Take stock. Did it work? What went wrong? You know. And then he looked at me and says, "This is just simple problem solving theory. We ain't brain surgery. You didn't come up with this shit. Here, go do it." The process is the same. The process is the same. There are no secrets here. You know, there's no secret lettering in the basic text, you know, that you need a black light to see it. You know, the letters don't change. You don't need to highlight it because it already is. It's highlighted in black. You know, if it's printed in there, then it probably needs to be in there. You know, no matter how hard you think you want it needs to change, maybe I'm the one that needs to change instead. Yeah. Yeah. I'll cut it loose early. Thank you.
All right.